Good morning.
Hello, welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Lauren.
And we'll work on our balance here today, and my name is Ian.
Today we have the weekend workout where all you need is your body, check.
And a little bit of space. Get that little bit of space. So we'll start with the head, neck, and the ribs. Lauren will take it over with that foot warm up, and together we'll stay strong. So let's start nice and simple and nice and slow. In a stance comfortable for you, maybe it's that squatting stance. Start with a very modest chin tuck, as if you're a marionette and the crown of the head is being pulled to the ceiling. From there, continue to look on the horizon and extend on the neck. Then continue to look straight ahead and flex on the neck or the chin towards the top of the sternum. Repeat one last time with casual effort here, the up, look forward, and then keep looking forward, tucking the chin and resetting on the horizon. From there, it's that lateral bend, flexion, ear to shoulder, through center, and repeat, other side. The nose stays fixed in space, the eyes stay forward, and we're avoiding a rotation, at least for right now. This is my last repetition through center, then towards the other side here, and then finishing in the middle. Retuck that chin in, and this time add a rotation. The eyes will move this time, looking over the shoulder, through center, and repeating to the other side. Remember to breathe. Look to lengthen out through that neck to create room, to rotate. And although some people do like those Rice Krispies, try to avoid that snap, crackle, pop sound in the neck by making space. Let's repeat those same actions through the rib cage, starting with our lateral bend first. As Lauren has there, hands across body with the shoulder blades retracted. The head can move, but very lightly like a teapot, tip to one side, through center, and tip to the other side. Keeping the ribs over the hips, a small tip here goes a long way to mobilize the rib cage and strengthen the core. One last time, lateral bend, through center again. This time, it's that extension of the spine, which is pressing the sternum forward. Lauren's shape shows that the best. Then ensure the shoulders stay retracted, and then flex or round through the spine. Repeating one more, extension, forward, flexion, towards the back, then meet in the middle between those two ranges. For the next movement, we'll coordinate the head and then those rib cage movements. First, at the head, neck, chin tuck, and rotate to a side of your choice. Then squeeze your butt cheeks, then rotate through the torso to have the sternum catch up to the position of the head. Then reset the head to center, the torso to then follow, and alternate to the other side. Rotation, head, neck, turn through the torso, breathe, reset the head, neck, center, torso to follow. One last time, the chin tuck rotation. The butt squeeze to create that stability for the core, the rotation through the spine, head return center, torso to follow. Lastly, the head, then the torso, then the head returns, and then in the middle, let it go, and just a little bit of shakeout. That's the head, neck for me, and the ribs. Lauren, take it away with the bottom half.
Excellent. Let's start with a little bit of a walk. So, with a little bit of space in front of you, point a foot out only as far as you can reach it where your hips are still level. Don't go twisting away. Now place your 5 toes down, then the ball of your foot, and start pulling on that front leg to transfer the weight. As you do that, you'll bend your back toes to get into that lunge-like foot. Flick the floor away, bring the leg through, point. Toes, open up, grip, ball, heel. Pull yourself on that front foot, bending those back toes. Flick, point through. 2 more like so. Pull on that leg. Feel that weight transfer as you gently bend and flick one last time with this move here as we pull onto that front leg, bend, and then foot underneath. Now let's reverse it. Bending the knee, not taking too big of a step, but going toe, ball, heel. You'll keep that front leg nice and straight as it passes underneath you, and then bend. Toe, ball, heel. Keep that leg straight, there's room for it. Toe, ball, heel. Last step for 4, I believe here. Toe, ball, heel. Now let's add on rolling over the toes. Again, start by pointing a foot out front. Place the foot down, pull yourself onto that front leg. Gently bend the toes. Then let's flex rolling over the back of the toes. Go back to the bent lunge foot, flick, point through. Pull yourself onto that front leg. Bend the back toes. Gently roll over the toes. Roll back, flick, point through. 2 more. Pull onto that front leg. Bend, roll over, roll back, and point through. Last one here. As we do this rollover, you're trying to keep your ankle and knee in the same line here. So try not to wing that foot out. End with your 2 feet underneath. Now let's just turn back around and do one more walk back. Point your foot out front. Turn around. Point your foot out front. Place the toe ball down. Now pull yourself up onto 2 feet and hold this balance for 3, 2. Start transferring that weight to the front foot. You can keep your back toe down, lower your front heel. Then flick the back foot, point through. Pull yourself up to both toes. Hold. Transfer that weight towards the front foot. Front heel comes down. Flick the back leg through. Either continue with that, or in this one, try to 100% transfer that weight onto the front foot and then slow lower. Point through. Up to 2 feet. Push your weight over that front leg. Hold. And then slowly lower. Give that a little shake. The ankles.
The feet, super important to root the hands as well, particularly as we get into our crawl series in a moment. Come on down to the floor. Maybe you'll choose a lunge. We'll get into a quick wrist warm up. I lunged, lower and folded. All is good. Take the fingertips and place them to the floor first. Roll across the fingertips a little bit. Then next, get those metacarpal heads or the knuckles to the floor and do the same thing. Roll in, roll out. Lauren's head position is better. I just want to keep saying hello and looking at you. From there, place the hands on the floor, and then I'll tuck my chin as well to look between the hands now. With the elbows straight, the blood donation is facing forward. Next, press into the floor to do our first knuckle push-up. Slowly come back down. Just like Lauren's toe walks, stiff elbows, so that was those straight knees, and then that slow control absorbing the ground. 1 or 2 more, first knuckle and down. Up and down, and on our last one here, push so much that you flick the wrists away, bring the hips through, squeeze your butts, brace the core, and always add the shake. From there, let's do a quarter turn. Hinge, it's still fingertips, calluses, and hands. I'll press to Lauren or to the right here, and my weight will shift to the left. Then pressing to the left, turning the fingertips white with pressure, you'll switch to the other side. Repeat. Push right to go left, push left to go right. 1 more time of each. Feel that preload, create tension and stability between you and that floor. Return to center, and if you push equally with the wrist flick, press those hips through. 1 final move for me, then on to more hips with Lauren. Fingertips face the knees this time. This might be very rich on these forearm flexors, so if this is a little bit too aggressive, against a wall or an elevated surface could be a nice place to start. With the head chin tuck, lightly at first, press the pinkies in the floor, try to lift them, and then relax. Ring fingers are next. Press the ring fingers heavy. Lift them up, mine don't move either, but then relax. Middle fingers next. Press, press, press. Lightly lift, at least pretending. Reset. And then index fingers press. Index fingers lift. Relax. What about those thumbs? Thumbs heavy. Push them down. Think lifting. Then push all 10.
It's the only one I can lift.
Push all 10 digits down. Try to bend the elbows. Mine don't bend too much either. And then flick that floor away like Spider-Man. Shaking out those wrists.
Let's come back up to standing. We'll do a quick hip bar, and then we'll get into our crawls and some lower body squats. So from this position, let's extend our hips, squeezing through. Tuck your toes. With or without your hands, you're going to rock back into that low squat position. Try to find your heels, and then press through to tall. Give it a little shake.
Hip bar. Hip bar might be that cue to get that balance aid out to the side. We have our bar on the wall, and Lauren went out to the side to get the chair.
With your balance aid here at your side, you have that inside leg standing nice and tall. Next, point that outside leg to the front, again, only as far as you can touch. Then, rotate that leg open, inseam up. Next, turn the femur in, rotating it into internal rotation. We still have the leg in front of us. Gently rotate back to external rotation so that inseam's facing up, and bring the leg to the side, pressing the hips forward. Once in this side position, let's repeat again. Gently internally rotate on the leg, and then externally rotate on the leg, bringing the inseam forward. And one last time, that internal rotation, hiding the inseam, again, keeping the hips level. Let's continue drawing that circle all the way around the back. Gently flexing over the foot. We'll pass through center, point out to the front. And then from the front, repeat to the back. Pull the foot back underneath you, pointing. The hip will rotate open in the socket as the leg comes around to the side, all the way around to the front, and then pulls underneath you, growing tall, squeezing both cheeks. Just hold for a second, and then relax. Let's shake that out and repeat on the other side. So again, setting up tall, inside leg, point to the front. Gently rotate open, inseam faces the ceiling. Keeping the hips level, gently internally rotate, hiding the inseam, internally rotate on the femur. One more time, externally rotate. This time we'll send the leg to the sides as the hips go forward, inseam forward. Next, rotate in on the leg, then rotate open. Keep that knee as straight as possible as you rotate in one last time. With that internal rotation, continue the circle all the way behind you. Gently flex over the foot, keeping the knee straight as it passes underneath. Point to the front. And one last time, straight leg to the back. Then rotate the leg open in the socket as it comes to the side. To the front, keeping the knee straight as you return the leg underneath. 2 feet under you, tall, 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 hips extended, butt squeezed, and then relax and shake it out. Nice. Next, we'll be working between some crawls. We can put that away.
Put that away.
Some crawling, as well as some squats. We'll start with a crawl first, and then Ian will take us away in our squats. Let's go back to that forward fold and find our down dog or elephant shape here. With the chin tuck, we'll slowly fold ourselves forward. Imagining from your belly button down is in concrete, and we're trying to fold over top of our legs here. Just hang out for a couple seconds. Next, we'll walk ourselves out into that down dog position with our hands on the floor, and let's bend our knees, hovering them on the floor, off the floor right now. Then tip the tailbone to the ceiling, push the floor forward and back, and let's lift the hips slowly up. Prioritize keeping that long spine and that low back as you gently try to straighten those knees. Take a breath here, maybe straighten one then the other, and then pull yourself back down to that bear hover position, knees slightly off the floor. Retip the tailbone to the ceiling, lift the hips up again, breathe. Now we'll go for that walk. Opposite hand and foot will take our steps forward, peeling the hands away from the floor, keeping that anterior tip of the hips. Let's take one more step in the forward direction and then reverse it. Beep, beep, beep. Backwards elephant walk, peeling the hands up. Once you return to your start position, bend the knees slightly, walk the hands back to the feet, and we'll stack ourselves back up, the opposite of folding ourselves down. Head is last to return. And breathe. Nice.
Hamstrings, love that elephant crawl, and core with that tailbone tip. Start now with those squats with the feet in parallel. Nice narrow stance. It's those knees over toes habits as we get into that ski style squat here, and then press the hips forward over top. Repeating again.
Sorry, the sneeze. Upside down.
Gesundheit. Pulling down, getting those knees over toes, and then pressing the hips through to tall. Repeat one more time, descend, and press through. Challenging our first toe balance here, rise to those demi points or the balls of the feet, straighten the knees, squeeze the butt cheeks, And then, like the first knuckle push-ups in the warm-up, slow down the descent. Next, let's just pivot on the heels to that first position. Pull the heels together to descend. Then press away from center, gripping the floor, squeezing the bum cheeks. 2 more repetitions doing our 3-way squats here. Pull in and press to tall. Repeat 1 last time, pulling in, pressing away to tall, and then similarly, find that toe balance. Additional challenges include looking at your training partner to the side or to the wall. But as always, straighten the knees, squeeze the bums, and slow down the descent. 1 more repetition, open up to that second position, slightly wider than first. Pull ourselves down and press ourselves away, butt squeezing. Find the toe balance. Then return. Then pull ourselves down, and can we find a toe balance down here? Heels connect, and then press through. For 1 last time, let's go up on those toes. Let's pull ourselves down. Let's fully connect the heels, then extend those hips through, and push to one side. Pull the legs together, shake and wiggle, and from hips to those hands.
Excellent. We're gonna get back down to the floor and do a little crawl, and then we're gonna come up and be a horse, of course.
Ooh, I love a horse crawl.
So let's get down to the floor and actually reverse. We're gonna be an upside down elephant. All you need to know right now.
Upside down elephant.
We're gonna hip hinge. Let's change up how we get down. Hinge. Walk yourself down, knees come down, and then just swivel around and end up on your bottom with your feet placed on the floor and your fingers facing away from you. Right now, keep your hips down on the floor and gently round your shoulder blades forward. Then, pushing the floor away, let's extend, retracting the shoulder blades, slight depression, and lifting up that chest. Repeat that 1 more time. Blades round forward, and then press the floor away and extend. Now in this extended and slightly depressed position with our blades, let's hover our cheeks off the floor. Next, let's tip the tailbone towards the back wall or at anterior tip of the hips. Then staying where you are, scoop or tuck the hips under. Repeat again. Tailbone tips to the ceiling behind you, and then gently scoop under. 1 last time. As you do this, you're driving the femurs back, and then you're using your core to tuck that pelvis under. End up in between, place the bum down. Maybe you repeat that again, or we're gonna lift up into some crab / opposite of the elephant position. So we retract the blades, lifting the chest. We hover the hips off the floor. To get up, we're going to scoop under, lifting the hips towards the ceiling. Here, I like to look up towards the ceiling, keeping my neck neutral, squeezing my cheeks, pulling my shoulders down. It starts from that pelvis. Slowly start pulling your femurs into the socket, that anterior tip of the hips. Keep that chest up for as long as you can, and then it'll come down with you. Let's repeat. Tuck the hips under, scooping, lifting up towards the ceiling, holding for 3. Cheeks are squeezed, core is braced. Then slowly tip the hips, pulling them back underneath you, returning to that hover position, and then gently place down. Let's do a little flipperama, so it looks like this. And then slowly walk yourself back to the hinge and extend, press through to tall.
I didn't know that an elephant and a crab were opposites, but I appreciate the benefits of both.
They're related.
Great moves there. The horse walk, a new old favorite here. Give yourself a little bit of a laneway here, and I'll be approaching the camera, and Lauren will be approaching across the room. In that first position, pull ourselves down to that squat. There will be a weight shift, so shift weight to one side and point. Like in Lauren's warm-up, pull ourselves across and complement that with a nice push to the other side. Then keep touching the floor and pull the heels together. Then toe point out to the side, toe ball heel landing. Pull, push, hips stay forward, pull underneath. Stand tall to reset. Staying low, a little bit more challenging, so come up if you need, or for a couple more repetitions, keep low. Pull low, point, pull, push, pull the other leg underneath. point, pull across, push, connect those heels, point, grip the floor with the toes, hips stay forward, pull the heels together, point to the side, stiff leg, it bends, and the other one stiffens. I'm hiding, Lauren. Let's do one more time each side, get to the point. Pull ourselves across and push, and one last time, point, pull the heels together, press away to finish tall, and again, the shake and the wiggle. So we'll continue our dressage experience here in just a second. Little clip clop prancer size as we go. I think we have one more little crawl here, at least one more crawl.
We do. We will be getting to our lizard this time. Let's fold ourselves back down. So back to that chin tuck, rolling ourselves forward. Take your time as you come on down here. Dangle in your forward fold. Breathe. Feels great. Then let's walk ourselves out to that high plank. In that high plank position, our hands are under our shoulders, our cheeks are squeezed. Now let's take a single foot, flick the floor away, bring the knee up towards the elbow and place the foot near the hand. Next, as we're here, we have that slight chin tuck, our shoulders pulled down. Think about sending energy out the front of your knee and the back of your heel, splitting yourself in half. Then pull that energy back into center. Try to hover the foot off the floor and place it back where you got it, repeating on the other side. Flick, lift, place down. Shoot, away from center, reaching forward and back. Then pull that back to center, lift, and place down. One more time each side. Flick, lift that foot up. Reach the knee forward, reach the heel back, feel that length. Pull it back to center, lift, and then place. And one more time, flick, lift, place that foot down, reaching away from center. To get out of it this time, I want you to bring that back foot up to the front hand, ending up in your low squat. Lifting that chest and holding, breathing. Now, our lizard just became a frog. So for about 3 steps, could you place your hands down in front of you and then hop yourself forward? If it can't be a hop, it could be a 1-2 step here. Forward for one more frog. And if you want to try something wild and crazy, these frogs go backwards. So you'd place your hands, you'd push the floor forward to send your hips back. Push the floor forward. And one last time, we'll end up in that low frog squat and then to tall.
Whew. Excellent.
It's zoology here.
But we're going back to the dressage ring here. It's that wide horse stance, and also, like the frog was, in reverse. So start with the first position. Pull ourselves low. Like in our movement clock, we'll take a single leg and reach to the back corner. Land toe ball heel, then push off the front leg, absorbing it with a bent knee in the back. Then pull the heels together. Keep the hips forward, reach the other diagonal now. Land toe ball heel, push off the front leg, bending the back. Pull together. Lauren will make an appearance here as I go to the back corner. A land, push through the front straight leg, bend both heels connecting together, and then to the back corner. Toe ball heel, push, bending on that back leg. If you have room, check your scenario one more time here to the back. Absorb with a push-pull, heels together, and press those hips through to finish nice and tall. Right on. Done the dressage, done those horse walks for the day.
Excellent. We have one more crawl here.
Awesome.
We were upside down. We were right side up. We were a lizard. We were a frog. There's one thing left to be. That's my monkey impression.
Monkey.
So step your feet into your squat position. You'll need a little bit of room lateral this time. In your squat stance, let's pull ourselves down. Now this time for our monkey, it's going to go a hand, hand, foot, foot. Hand, hand, foot, foot. Could you travel sideways in somewhat of a smooth and graceful monkey pattern? As we can progress here, you could get your bum higher in the air as allowed. Once you're back to center, press those knees out, keep the heels heavy, extend your chest, hanging out in this low squat for just one more second, and then push down and away to stand up tall. Whew, and give it a little shake.
A little shake. We were hanging out with my niece last night, and she wanted to work on her splits. So today, later in the studio, we'll be sharing some strategies with her for splits, and we'll definitely include some monkeying around. But also this drill coming up here, working from the 90-90. So take our time pulling yourself down or transitioning anyhow you want. Then, just as Lauren is, let's catch up with where she's at. Placing the 90-90 shapes in through the knees, the ankles, and those hips. Are you mixed lumps like me out here? Or can you, with the assistance of the outrigger or without, encourage your rib cage to stack over the hips? Repeat on the other side. Same thing. Easier, harder, slumpier. Check in. We have 90-90 shapes at those legs and hips. Using an outrigger, pushing yourself towards keeping your rib cage stacked over the hips. For today though, we'll go back to the other side and we'll work from that elbow position on the ground. We have a back hip that's extended forward. Give Lauren a little bit more space here. We have a back hip that's extended forward and a front leg that's compressed in. Pretend there's a candle underneath your oblique or the rib cage on the bottom side and push through the elbow to pull that rib cage away from the ground. From this position, keeping the knee stable, could you extend on the knee? Then point the toe. Then flex on that ankle again. Next, could you press through that hand and sit in your little jazz split here? For one more time, point through the toe, flex on the ankle, and then return to the hand elbow on the ground, bend on that knee, press back to tall, hold for a second, outriggers or not, and then with hands or without, let's just switch to the same thing on the other side. So working from that 90-90, we have that compression in on the front femur into the hip and the extension of the hip in the back, butt squeeze. Then, as if there's a candle underneath the ribs here, pull away. Keeping the knee in place, gently extend the knee to straight. Next, point the foot, and then flex the ankle back to the karate style. Then pushing through the elbow, transition to that jazz-styled split, and again, point through the toe, flex on the ankle, return to the elbow on the ground, and then gently return the knee to bend. Then for again, press yourself through to our favorite mermaid's position here, with or without that outrigger. One more move, Lauren. Any special requests?
Let's finish. We did our side splits a little bit. Let's finish with that center split here.
Love it.
So, sitting up tall, gently get your legs into a position that's moderately comfortable for you, but don't force yourself into that. Either a flexed foot or a pointed toes. Right now, we have that slight anterior tip of the hips or that tailbone to the ceiling. Next, with that light grip on the floor, could we rotate open the inseam or that femur on one leg? And then gently bring the kneecap to the ceiling and then slowly internally rotate on that leg. Let's repeat that again. Externally rotate, inseam to ceiling. To center, internally rotate, hiding that inseam. Bring it back to center, repeating on the other side. Internally rotating your single leg, and then back, opening it up, rotating as best as you can. One more time, keeping the knee as straight as possible as you roll in, and then roll open. Back to center, pointing those feet, gently hinging towards the front as you keep your kneecaps pointed up. Breathing, maybe you can find a little bit more of a stretch there. Then use your muscles to press yourself back up to tall. Gently bend, bringing those legs back in underneath you. Get up to standing however you'd like to say our goodbyes.
Our goodbyes.
Thank you very much for joining us today here at Bars and Bells online studio. To our members from our website and to our Patreons, thank you.
Thank you. We've had a great start to our weekend, and we hope that you do too. We're back live next week with classes on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and archive content always accessed through our exclusive members portal or for free on YouTube sometimes too. So check it out, and we look forward to staying strong, training soon, and always taking care, even on weekends. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Goodbye.